Hello everybody, in Dinosaurs one Victory here, and and last week I believe, collectA revealed their figures for 2020. Now, the way they the way they revealed these things was by they showed four figures first, and then they released two figures later in the week. Well, the images of the figures aren't actually out yet, of course. But I would have made this video sooner, but sadly I've been quite busy lately. I apologize for that. And this looks like a decent roundup from what I can see. So let's just cut right to the chase. Here we have, I already know I'm pronounced it wrong, the Dinosaurs. I don't know what to think of this figure. It looks like it looks like a Amargasaurus tried to rebel against its parents and bent its spikes forward. But as far as I know, this could be what the actual dinosaur looked like, because I've never seen this dinosaur before. But the whole entire spike thing could work. I say the main problem with this figure is how the head is bending down. Because since the head is bending down, you can't do much with it. In my opinion, figures which are like bending down, especially with sauropods, aren't that good. Along with the fact that, look at how short its neck is compared to its tail. Is that accurate? Because I've never seen this dinosaur before, and as far as I know, that could be very accurate. As for the paint looks decent. I like the beigeish color and the brown on the top. It looks nice together. But I don't have really anything particularly to praise this figure about, or is it particularly horrible? It looks alright, but I'm not gonna get it because I don't personally know the dinosaur. Along with the fact that I don't like the fact that its neck is bending down, I don't like figures like that. So yeah, I won't begin this one. Moving on to the next one. And now we have what is probably the most unnecessary figure of this year. Not of collectA this year, but out of every single figure this year, this one's probably the most unnecessary. It's not the worst, but it's most unnecessary. The collectA Baryonyx. Because as you all know, last year collectA released a deluxe Baryonyx, which is rather big. Due to that thing's existence, that makes this thing irrelevant. It's like one entire situation with the, I'm pretty sure it's actually collectA, with the collectA feathered T-Rex. Yes, you have the deluxe feathered T-Rex, and you also have the smaller, the normal feathered T-Rex. But in that situation, you could use the deluxe one as like a parent, and the smaller one as a child. Meanwhile, in this situation, I don't think I'd want to use this one as what. I don't think I'd want to use this one as its child. Mainly because of its face. What on earth is the yellow that they're using for the face? It's a mustard color yellow that they used for the face. All the rest of the body is orange and very beigey yellow. I don't know how to describe the underbelly. But apart from that, there's no resemblance of yellow apart from the face. The face is nothing but yellow. And it has this little red horn on the top of its head. Why does it have that? This thing is completely unnecessary. Why buy this thing when you can spend just a little bit more money to get the deluxe one? the entire point. What's collector thinking here? They're probably thinking, oh, maybe they can use this one as a juvenile. But at the very least, make this juvenile good. Because that's the thing with the smaller feathered T-Rex. Yes, it's smaller than the original, the deluxe feathered T-Rex, but the smaller one is actually a good figure. I do not like the look of this one. Just, if there's one thing to take away from this figure, buy the deluxe Baryonyx while you can. Because as far as I know, we might be the other Baryonyx could end up getting discontinued for this one. What was collectA even thinking here? Why did they make another one? Were they like, oh, the sales are low on the Baryonyx, which they could have been low, I don't know, so we better make it smaller and a more affordable one. Little do they know, like, I haven't personally bought it, because I haven't had a reason to buy it. I was intending on buying it, but I wasn't going to buy it at that specific time. But now I'm going to buy it, just so I can show collectA that this one is good, and I'm not going to support this one. What is the point of this figure? At least most figures this year are dinosaurs that you can are creatures that you can understand were made for a reason. Meanwhile, this one, I cannot see why they made another Baryonyx 2 years in a row. Now we have what is probably the best figure from collectA this year, the Fukisaurus, or as I'm gonna call it, the Fuck You Saurus. Because another dinosaur that collectA released last year what was the Fuck You Raptor, and I had a field day with that one because I found it hilarious, and to be honest, it still kind of tickles my funny bone now. But I unironically like this figure. So due to me liking this one, I'm gonna call this the Fukisaurus. I really like the Fukisaurus. I personally think we need more figures like this. I really like how big this figure is, because I personally think that we need more Hadrosaurs. Because what do we have? The Limbadosaurus, I think that's called, from collectA, and the Parasaurolophus from Slight, and the Terrible Papo Iguanodon. Those are the only Hadrosaurs I can think of. That is mainly because Hadrosaurs don't sell, meanwhile carnivores do. But I really like the fact that they made a Hadrosaur. Okay, I'm gonna get... Okay, a reason why I like the figure is, of course, as I mentioned, how big it is. But I'm also a fan of the paint scheme. I really like this bright... Is that beige again? How many times is collectA going to use beige in the same year? This bright beige colour, along with what seems to be brown spots along the body. Now, what I really like is the white. I really like the white underneath the figure, and I also really like the white going around the eyes. It kind of looks like tribal tattoos. Now, I'm one of the few that really enjoy this, who are actually looking forward to this figure. Because I know I saw Sketchy's video about these figures, and I think he said something negative about the Fukisaurus. But I like this figure. Out of any figures come from next year from collectA, this will be the one that I'll be getting. Now, I know this is going to be a unpopular opinion, because I've watched multiple figures, I've watched multiple videos about these figures, and they all seem to praise the microraptor. Meanwhile, I hate it! I think, are we looking at completely different pictures? I do not like this figure. And let me start. And let me start off why I don't like this figure. Reason number one: it's a deluxe figure. Why does it have to be a deluxe figure? Because this won't be in scale with any other dinosaurs. What's the entire point of this? Why? Why do we need a deluxe microraptor? Why don't we just make like a little microraptor? What would be so wrong with that? Along with the fact that I do not like the sculpt in this. To me, it's mainly because of the legs. I do not know why, but there's something about legs that I do not like. At first, looking at the images, I thought the legs were broken. Because it looks like, to me, it looks like the way that the feet are structured. It, it, it looks like that at the beginning, it goes down like a straight line. And meanwhile, at a certain point, it's like, it doesn't curve forward. It just goes like a 60-degree angle and goes straight forward. But then looking at the figure, that description, yes, it's kind of accurate, but I don't know. That is the only reasoning I could come up with about why I don't like the legs. There's just something about those legs that I do not like. Maybe it's the feathers. Maybe it's that exact reason. Because apart from the legs, the rest of the figure looks fantastic. Just for me, the legs ruin it. What's wrong with the legs? I can't point out why, there's just something about the legs that puts me off. Long fact this being a deluxe figure, why is it a deluxe? Why couldn't we have one in scale? It's like what happened with the Hasbro Jurassic World figures. With the T-Rex. We had multiple versions of the T-Rex. We had a smaller one, and then we had a bigger one. And I'm pretty sure we also had one in between and another. Yes. We had 3 different T-Rexes. And it's the same it's the same with Mattel's Jurassic World figures. Why do we need 3 of the same figure? Along with the fact that they're not in scale. Because I personally like all my figures to be in scale. Or at least look like they're in scale. I just personally don't like deluxe figures of dinosaurs which are meant to be small. Which is why I mainly prefer deluxe figures which are rather quite big. Like the deluxe T-Rex. That suits it. The deluxe Carnotaurus. That suits it. Meanwhile, a deluxe Velociraptor and a deluxe Microraptor? Why? Who wants that? I don't. And I'll show that by not buying it. But it's not like they'll care because it seems like everybody else is interested in getting it. And if you like it, good for you. There's just something about the legs that I don't like. In that case, I think we better move on to the next figure. Those who do not learn history are doomed to repeat it. We have a deluxe Protoceratops. Why? Why? Why do we have a deluxe Protoceratops? This would have been great as like a smaller herbivore. Like, if you got the sculpt and scaled it down, it would be great. And I guarantee buy from me. Meanwhile, no, you made it ginormous, and now I'm not interested. But I do have to say, the sculpt is good. Its legs doesn't ruin it, unlike the microraptor. I actually really like the sculpt. I re- the beige color again? Because as you can see, the Protoceratops is beige. Why? How many figures are going to have the same color scheme? Well, I will say that the beige looks nice because it looks nice on every single figure as well. But apart from that, I do have to say the sculpt is really good. And I also like and I also like how the mouth opens and closes. That is unusual for a herbivore. A and it seems like this figure is doing it relatively right. Unlike Papua Iguanodon, which just seemed to chuck it out the window. You know what? I don't mind this figure. If I was to pick up any deluxe collector figure which is out of scale, it'll be this one. I won't buy the Velociraptor because that one looks like garbage. I don't like the paint from that one. I won't pick up the Microraptor because of the legs. But if I was going to pick up one, this one would be it. I really do think this would have been better if it was scaled down to scale. Like, if you give me a second. What's this thing called? Because I'm holding a figure in my hands. Like the Safari Leptoceratops. If you just scaled it down and made it about as big as that figure, it would have been really good, and once again, a guarantee buy from me. Meanwhile, no, it's like as big as a T-Rex. But I don't mind it. I like the sculpt, I like the paint. That's all I have to say. I might pick it up, I might not, I don't know, depends what mood I'm in. Moving on to the next and last figure. Now we have the last figure, the Sultrovinator, also known as Ceratosaurus 2.0, because this thing is a Ceratosaurus. You can argue, I can't argue against that. This is a Ceratosaurus. I could use this thing as a Ceratosaurus and nobody would notice. It's just a Ceratosaurus. I've got nothing else to say. Why is this a Leptos? So much for title, so much for a Sultrovinator. It's a Ceratosaurus. But I will say, I like the sculpt. I really like how detailed it is. I really like the little spines going down the back. I'd say my only main problem with it is the pose. Because it's facing up like the body is facing towards the sun and its head is facing towards the side. Once again, like how I don't like sauropods which have their necks bending down. I don't like carnivores which have their necks bending up. But from that minor exception, which I could get over, this figure looks fine. I will say, I do really like the green on it. The green really pops out. And my only real question is, what is that little black spot on its head? It looks like somebody just bitch slapped it. It looks like it has a giant bruise. And also like the orange on the horns, and also like the fact that the mouth opens and closes. But it's not like it'll be able to reach the floor anyway. But I like this figure. This is probably the best carnival that collector is releasing next year. And that isn't an insult, that is a genuine compliment. This isn't the best figure, because my personal favorite is the... I almost said fuck you again. The Fukisaurus. But this is probably my second favorite. Now that was all the collector figures for 2020. And it seems to be a good year. Because we've got my personal main highlights, which is the Fukisaurus and the Salt Trovinator. But apart from that, the rest are either bland or outright not buying. But it seems like a lot of companies next year aren't going to have a great year. Because Slice is terrible next year. Safari's bland next year. This year for collector seems to be good. And now we only have Papo left. Let's just hope that Papo finally delivers on that Giganotosaurus that they've been teasing us for years now. And that's all I have to say. So thank you all so much for watching, and here is Dom601 signing out.